So in our webinar tonight, I'm going to start by explaining a little bit about Open Sesame, what Open Sesame is about, how it can help you or your loved ones. I'm going to then jump right into a presentation, a demonstration with a smartphone that I have here. I'm going to show you how I'm controlling my smart device using head control, and I'm going to share my screen with you so you'll be able to see everything on your screen. You'll be able to see the screen of my smartphone on your screen. After the demonstration, I'm going to stop and I'm going to allow you to ask questions. You can feel free then or throughout the webinar to use the chat screen to write a question. If you're unable to do that, you can wait for those stops and ask a question, open your microphone and ask a question. I'm then going to go into the settings, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the settings of the application and how you can adjust it to different physical abilities and different preferences. And so all in all, it's going to be about 30 minutes, and at the end, I'm going to leave some time for questions. So Open Sesame is simply a mobile app, just like any other app you have on your device, just like Facebook or YouTube or any other app you have on your device. You download the app from the Google Play Store, and what the app is doing is it's using the front-facing camera, what we call the selfie camera of your device, to track the movements of your head. So unlike the eye gaze technology, which I'm sure you heard about, our technology is based on head control. So the front-facing camera of your device is going to look for the outline of your head, and then it's going to translate the movement of your head into an on-screen cursor. With this on-screen cursor, you'll be able to do anything on your device. You'll be able to use any app. You'll be able to go into social media or check out your emails or watch videos or play games. Anything that people are doing with their fingers on their smart device, you'll be able to do with simple head movements. I'm going to show you a couple of options we have on the software on the application. I'm going to start with showing you the most basic menu we have. And you're going to see that once I'm opening the app, it's going to calibrate to my head. And then I'm going to see a cursor on the screen, which I can control with my head. Then everything works on what we call dwell click, meaning that once I'm not moving the cursor anymore on the screen, you're going to see a green circle that's indicating that now I'm not moving, I'm dwelling, and it's going to open an action menu. An action menu is going to be a circle with icons on it. And from this action menu, with simple head movements, I'll be able to decide if I want to tap or click on the screen or if I want to swipe. So in the basic menu, I'm only going to have the swipe and tap options. And then I'm going to show you our advanced menu, which has other options, not only swipe and not only tap. So I'm going to share my screen with you, the screen of my smartphone that is right here next to me. So in a second, you're going to see it on your screen. Okay, so now you can see my screen, and you can see Sesame. That's the application. I see that someone is joining us. I'm just going to ask you to mute your microphone so we won't hear any background noises. And you can see the Open Sesame app right here. I'm going to open it. In order to start the application, I can either use a voice command or I can use switch. You can connect to your smartphone, to your tablet, any sort of switch, and then with one press on the switch, you'll be able to start the application to start the head calibration. So once I'm starting the app, you're going to see that it's looking for my face or any face it sees on the screen. It takes exactly 2 seconds, and the next things you're seeing is that I have this cursor running on the screen. I'm moving my head up and down to the right and to the left. As you can see, my movements are subtle. I don't need to do big movements. I'm going to go to my home menu. So now I'm dwelling over any place on the screen. So you see, once I'm not moving anymore, you see the green line indicated that I'm dwelling, and it opens this circle. I'm now in control of the little blue dot, and I'm kind of locked in this circle, and I can choose, I'm going to do it again, I'm dwelling. I can choose from the purple icon, you see that it's written swipe in the middle, or the green. which is tap. The red, just cancel and give me back my cursor. If I'm not picking anything, it's simply going to fade away and disappear, and I'm getting back the control over the cursor. If I'm choosing swipe, I'm getting this blue line that I can stretch with my head. And just imagine that this blue line is your finger swiping on the screen. So if I'm stretching it all the way to the left and dwelling, it moves my screen to the side. I'm going to do it again to the other side, choosing swipe. Now let's say that I want to go and check out my Gmail. So I'm taking the cursor down here, dwelling over the icon and pressing tap, the green. Now it's like I clicked on that cursor, so I can now swipe through my emails. Let's say I want to open this email here. I'm tapping on it. I can read the email. If I want to write an email back, I can tap on the arrow to write an email back. And these are just examples. You see that the keyboard jumps automatically, and I can use the microphone here to write a message. Those are just examples. You can use any application you have on your device. If I want to go back to the home page, I want to use the home button. I'm simply taking the cursor all the way down. Then I see this house pops up and I'm back in my home page. Same thing for YouTube or Netflix or anything you have on your device. I want to go to YouTube. I'm simply going to dwell over the app, taking the blue dot to tap. Now I have a video here. I'm going to go back. So just like I have my home button down here, so I'm taking the cursor and kind of hitting the ground and I see the home button. I also have back, so it can always take me back, and I can choose the video I want to watch. Want to get out of the application, going down to my home button. If I want to watch a video or read something and I don't want to see the cursor running on the screen and I don't want to see the action menu pops like it's popping right now, I'm simply taking the cursor to the right side of the screen. You see the lock here jumping, and now the cursor is locked. So I can relax, I can talk with someone, I can read. Nothing happens on the screen, but you can see on the lower part of the screen, I have this bar that I'm moving with my head. And if I want to unlock it, I'm simply going to take the bar to either side, leave it there for a second, and I'm getting back my cursor. The last thing is if I'm taking the cursor all the way from the top and swiping down, then I have volume control. And if I'm going to swipe a little bit more, just have some things open here. I can turn off the app, or I can reposition, meaning to do the calibration again. I'm turning off the app, and now the device goes back to normal, like nothing happened. So that was the basic menu. And you saw the basic menu only has two options, tap or swipe. Through tap and swipe, you can basically do almost anything on your device. That's what we mostly do on our smartphone or tablet. We use our finger to tap, or we use a finger to swipe to the sides or up and down. Everything that I showed you is on my smartphone, but our application is going to work just the same on your tablet. So any Android device, smartphone or tablet, you can go and download the app and do what I just did. I'm going to talk at the end about exactly the pricing model and how many months and what's the prices and what's the different option of purchasing the app. I'm going to open the app again. This is our main menu. When you download the app, you're going to have a kind of a quick startup guide that will walk you through the main idea of the app and going to give you a taste of how it feels to control the application with your head. And then it will recommend to do the training. So you see that I have a training module here. You have basic training that takes about 10 to 15 minutes, and we highly recommend starting there. It will take you through all the features of the app. It's going to teach you everything that I showed you and more, and how to lock the cursor, how to unlock the cursor, how to tap and swipe and play around. So we highly recommend starting with this training module. Then I'm opening the settings, and in the settings, the first thing that you see is the pointer settings. And the first thing that you see in the pointer settings is the horizontal and vertical sensitivity. That's very, very important for the ease of the use. You saw that to control the cursor and move it around, I didn't move my head a lot. I use subtle movements, and this is how we want people to use it. We don't want you to do this kind of movement with your head. We want it to be effortless. Some people may feel that the cursor is too sensitive, so you can go and decrease the sensitivity. For some of our users, for example, people with high spinal cord injury, they have more limited head movement. For people with more limited head movement, you can increase the sensitivity of the cursor. The more sensitive it is, the higher the number here is, the less you're going to need to move your head, but you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to take it all the way up here, because then even if you blink, the cursor is going to move and it's going to be hard to control. So if you feel that you're trying to get the cursor all the way to the lower part of the screen, but you don't have enough head movement for that, you can go to the vertical sensitivity and increase it by a little. You can do it kind of like in a trial and error, or you can do calibrate sensitivity. Calibrate sensitivity you see at the top of the little page. If I'm pressing this option, it's now going to calibrate to my head, and I'm going to show the camera the range of my movement. And you see that it's saying don't overreach, because this is the movement you'll need to have to do in order to move the cursor around. So I kind of want to stay within my comfort zone. That's what I can do vertically. And now you're going to see that the sensitivity is going to be adjusted. Since I showed a lot of movement, it decreased the sensitivity. If I would have showed less movement, it would have increased the sensitivity, and you can play with that. That's important. It's important to know that you can get it to, your comfort zone where it's comfortable for you, so you won't need to move your head too much, or it won't be too sensitive for you. I'm continuing down, and you can see that I have click time. That means how long I need to dwell in one place for the action menu to open, how long it's going to take the green circle to complete the circle. Now it's 2 seconds. Some people that are starting to use it and feel that the action menu is jumping too quick, they don't have enough time to think, you can increase it. Usually people start with a pretty slow timer, and then slowly they make it faster, so the use will be faster. You can control the size of the pointer, and you can control the size of the action selection menu, and how long you need to stand on each and every icon in order to choose it. So that's all in the pointer settings. If I'm going to the general setting, the first thing that you see is the menu style. And I told you that I showed you the basic menu that only offered 2 options, the tap and the swipe. We also have here the classic menu, which is what our menu used to look like, and for a lot of our older users, we decided to keep it because they got used to this menu. And we have the advanced menu. The advanced menu is for people that have experience with smartphones and they really want to get full control over their device. They want to have the ability to do everything they could do with fingers on their device. It offers simply more options. So when I'm going to open the app right now, you're going to see that once the action menu pops up, I'm going to have a lot of different options. And once I'm going to choose either tap or swipe, I'm going to have different tap and swipe options. So I'm going to give you a few examples so you kind of get a feeling of what you can do with this menu. So I'm opening the app, and again, the calibration is similar. Takes a couple of seconds. I'm getting back the cursor. I'm dwelling. And now you see that I have the swipe. And once I'm choosing the swipe, I'm getting other options. So I have a repeat swipe option, and I have a scroll option, and I have a free swipe option. So just for an example, if I'm doing repeat swipe, now every time that I'm dwelling somewhere, I'm automatically getting the option to do swipe. I don't need to go through the action menu. And that's, if you're playing a game like Angry Birds or something like that, that the only thing you need to do is to swipe. That can be a good option for you. And I'm canceling the always swipe mode. Another thing, let's say I want to Google something. I'm going down here to the Google line, and I'm pressing on the tap. Do it again. Pressing on the tap, and now I want to tap on NBA. And now I want to scroll down through the results, just like you scroll down through a web page or through social media. And I can go to the swipe mode and move the cursor to scroll. Now I have this bar on the side that I'm in control of the little blue dot, and if I'm taking it up, I'm swiping up, scrolling down. Now I can stop in the middle. I'll take my head a little bit to the left, and I'm getting back the cursor. So that's a very, very useful option. Exactly the same way, if I'm going to tap and I'm moving, I have the option to do repeat tap, and it's all written in the center. You don't need to remember it. Repeat tap, long tap, double tap, or tap and hold. The repeat tap can be very useful if you want to use the on-screen cursor. So if I'm pressing the line here, now I have the on-screen keyboard. So I can use the microphone. See that I have the microphone up here, and sometimes the microphone is going to be on the keyboard itself. But since I'm on repeat tap, every time I'm dwelling somewhere, that's the first thing I see. And I can use the cursor that way. You use the on-screen keyboard. So if I'm, for example, I'm nonverbal and I cannot use the microphone, I can go into repeat tap and use the keyboard that way. Now I'm still on repeat tap. It means that every time I dwell somewhere, it's going to press on something. So once I'm done writing, once I'm done using the on-screen cursor, I'm taking the cursor to the left side of the screen. You saw the icon charging, and I'm getting back my action menu. So I have all the swipe options under the purple and all the tap option under the green. Here I have the option to do zoom in or zoom out. We call it pinch, and that will be relevant when you're looking at maps or pictures. And here I have the option to close my device, and I have the option to close Sesame, and I have the option to reposition, which will take me through the calibration. If I move, then I feel that the control is not as smooth, I can do the recalibration, reposition again. And those are the options again: swipe, tap, zoom in, and some setting option to close the app, to close the device, or to reposition. If I'm closing Sesame, then again, simply takes back the device to normal. So this is the advanced menu. Again, I'm going to the settings, and under the general settings, I have the menu style, and I went from basic to advanced. So most people will start with the basic, and once they get a hold of it, and if they want to get more out of the technology, they can go to the advanced. If you feel comfortable with the basic and you don't feel that you're missing anything, you can just stay with the basic. It's completely up to you. In the setting options here, we have some other options. For example, listen to OK Google from a closed screen. If you check this box, it will allow you to use a voice command to say Open Sesame even when your screen is closed, and it will start the face calibration. We have here, you can see enable switch mode and start Sesame with switch press. I told you at the beginning that you have two ways to start the application. One is with a voice command, and the other one is with switch. So if I'm checking the box of start Sesame with switch press, all I need is to connect any sort of switch to my device. Usually it's connected via Bluetooth, and then one press on the switch, and it will start the face calibration. And the enable switch mode, if I'm checking this box is for people that can use a switch with a finger or with their hand. And we basically integrate the switch access technology into our application. So you're still going to have a cursor on the screen that you'll be able to move with your head, but instead of dwelling and letting the action menu open, if you enable the switch mode, then once you connect the switch, you'll be able to just press on the switch and the cursor will tap, or you can hold the switch down and move your head and it will swipe. So for people that do have the ability to use a finger and they don't want to do the dwell because it might be slower, they can simply connect any cursor to their device, enable the switch mode that you have here, and then you're going to have a cursor on the screen that you're going to control with your head. But instead of dwelling, you're simply going to press on the switch in order to tap or to swipe. So that's an option we have in our settings. And the rest is options that relates to incoming call, whether you want the speaker to open when you're having an incoming call, whether you want your device to automatically answer incoming calls. We offer our users to use 3 specific voice commands that you can either answer phone calls saying Sesame answer, you can dismiss an incoming phone call saying Sesame dismiss, or you can hang up a conversation saying Sesame hang up. So you don't have to have your phone on automatically answer. It's up to you. If you do want to have your phone on automatically answer incoming calls, I'm checking this box. It gives you more options, whether to automatically answer all calls or just from contacts, just from start contacts, just when you have the Bluetooth, or not have your phone on automatically answer, and then you can simply either use the cursor or use a voice command to answer incoming call or to dismiss incoming calls. So that was kind of a brief overview of the technology, of the 2 menus, the basic and the advanced, and of the kind of like the highlights of our settings. So before I go into the purchase options, the subscription options, the bundle options, and all of that, I will stop here and allow you guys to ask questions. So feel free to use the chat you have on your screen to write the message, or just to open your microphone and ask a question, and I will say it out loud, and hopefully I'll have good answers. I'm gonna give you guys another few seconds. What phones and tablets work best? Okay, that's a great question. So as I said, the technical requirement from your device is simply the operating system, and you need an Android operating system. To be more specifically, the requirement is to have an Android 7 operating system or newer versions. Android 7 is the operating system from 2016, so any device from the last 2 years approximately will be good enough. Our recommendation is usually to go, when it comes to tablets, to go with the Samsung tablets. They are affordable, they're very reliable, they're great devices. They just released a new tablet called the Samsung Tab A. It has a big screen, 10.5 inch. It's not too expensive. It's about $350, $320. It has strong battery, and it can be a great option for someone that wants to use a tablet. When it comes to smartphones, Google Pixel is a great smartphone. All the Samsung Galaxy are great smartphones, but we also use LG, and we use Moto, and you can use Sony Xperia, and you can use Huawei. When it comes to smartphones, you have more options. When it comes to tablet, I usually recommend the Samsung tablets. And when you buy a subscription, I'm going to get to it in a second, you can use your license on both a smartphone and a tablet. So you'll be able to use your license on 2 devices. I usually recommend to have a tablet at your house mounted on a table, and I'm going to talk in a second about the mounts, mounted on a table, and you can go to the device and use the tablet for entertainment, to control your smart devices, to watch videos, to do work, to do Gmail. That's very, very comfortable. If your number 1 preference is to do phone calls, then smartphone is where you need to go, and you can connect it to your wheelchair, you can connect it to a table. But besides conducting calls, tablet has the advantage of a bigger screen, and you can also have it horizontally. And the next question, is there a pause button so users can rest? So the pause button is what I showed you, lock the cursor. So I'm going to show it to you again. And I'm going to share my screen just to refresh your memories. If I'm opening the application, going through the face calibration, and now I'm moving the cursor around and I want to pause it, so I want to rest, I'm simply taking the cursor to the right side of the screen. Oh, I think I'm on the switch access mode, so I'm going to cancel it. I'm going to go to the settings. I'm going to disable it. And I'm going to open again. You can see that the face calibration is pretty quick as long as you're in front of the device. And now I'm taking the cursor to the right. You see the lock. And now it's paused. So now nothing can happen on your screen. You don't see the cursor on the screen, but the camera is still following your head. And you can see that the only thing that's moving on the screen is the bar at the lower part of the screen. So if I want to unlock it, unpause it, taking my head to either side, getting back the cursor, I want to lock it again, taking the cursor to the right side of the screen, and I'm locking it. So this is how you can pause it. And do the settings save for each user? So you can save the settings for one user, and you can, I'm going to share the screen with you again. If I'm going to the settings, I'm going all the way down, then you can see that you can do backup settings. You can restore settings if you back up the settings and then someone change it and you want to restore to your original settings. And you can reset to default settings. So if you made changes and now it's not as comfortable and you just want to go to a default setting, you press here and all the settings go back to the default. Just a second. And next question. When using an app, can you use voice commands to tell it to swipe left or right, or do you have to use the head movements? So in order to do the swiping, you have to use your head movement. You can't do swipe with head control. We do have, you still can use the voice commands for OK Google. So if you want to call someone, you can say, OK Google, call my mom. And you can say, OK Google, what's on my schedule? So there are certain very specific features on every Android device, it's unrelated to Open Sesame, that you can use with your voice. We offer to use those voice commands, but we add another layer. And this extra layer allows you to go into any application on your device and interact with those applications. Because using voice commands, you can go into your Gmail account and check out the emails you got yesterday and answer a specific email. You can go into Netflix and see what new movies are there and choose a movie. You can go into Facebook and browse through Facebook. So we add another layer, and those things of swiping through applications you cannot do with voice commands. You have to do with head movements. Will the Sesame app work with communication app programs? So yes, the Sesame app will work with any application on your device. And we do have, this is very specific for people that are using Aac app. If I'm going to the pointer setting, and I'll share my device again, and I'm going all the way down, you see that you have Aac mode. And if I'm checking the Aac mode, the kind of like the go-to Aac app on Android is Cough Drop. And if you're going to open Cough Drop or Speech Assistant, those two applications, and you're on Aac mode, then the cursor is going to stick to each and every one of those squares, and you'll be able to have different ways to interact with the application. So yes, definitely you can use Sesame to interact with communication apps, any communication app available on Android. Can you explain the AAC mode further? I don't want to get into that into too much details about that because it's very specific for people that need that. But the AAC mode, you can see that I have the option to hide pointer in AAC mode. If I'm checking this option, then imagine that you have all the squares of an AAC app. So once I'm taking my head to a certain place, it's going to mark the square that I'm on, and then I can move the marker between the different squares on the screen with my head. Alternatively, I can just have a cursor, but the cursor is going to stick to the center of each and every one of those squares. So it's just making your life easier when you're using an AAC app. And so we offer this option with the Speech Assistant app and with Cough Drop. And I'm going to talk in a second about Windows because that's something that we're going to introduce this month. And you will be able in about a month to also use Windows AAC apps with Open Sesame. So I'm going to talk about it in a second. Checking if there are other questions here. Okay, I don't see questions. You can still write me a question. I can see the chat screen. I'm going to talk about how to get Open Sesame. So as I said, Open Sesame is available on the Google Play Store. You can go to the Google Play Store on any Android device right now, write Open Sesame. You're going to see the blue icon of the S of Sesame, and you can download the app for free for your device. After a week of using it for free, it's going to ask you to put a credit card, but you're still not going to be charged for the first 30 days. So you can play with the app, you can go through the training module, you can try it out, and only after 30 days it will charge you. And the monthly fee is $20 a month. And most of our users simply pay it monthly, automatically, as long as you're using the app, as long as it's active on your device, you're going to be charged $20. And there are no strings attached. You can stop at any point. And if you don't like it anymore, you can cancel your subscription. You don't need to worry about it. You can use it for 2 months and then stop using it. And so that's someone just asked, does Sesame offer a trial or a free download for hospital to use for evaluating? So the answer is yes, we offer a free trial for everyone. Everyone that is downloading the device is going to get the first week that is completely, you don't even need to put credit card, you don't need anything, and a week is a long time to try it out. Specifically for hospital or evaluating a client, you can also send us an email and say, I need an extra, couple of days, I need an extra week, I'm meeting with a client next week and I really need, so we can open remotely the license for you for free for evaluation purposes and for hospital use. So that's the free trial period. That's what most of our private users are doing. For organizations and hospitals and assistive technology centers and people that don't want to deal with a recurring payment, we have the option to either do a yearly subscription that you pay a year in advance and you get 1 month for free, so it's $220 for the year, or a bi-yearly subscription, you pay $420 for 2 years, or you can have the option, and that's an option that we have specifically for organizations and institutions, to buy the app outright. You pay $700, $699, and you get the app for life, and that includes all future updates. And this is something that I didn't emphasize. We update the software, the app, about every 2 or 3 weeks. It's going to be upgraded automatically through your Google Play Store. We're going to add new features, new settings, new options, and we're going to tell you exactly what we added. So once you subscribe, you're going to get all those free updates automatically. And if you buy the unlimited license for $700, then that includes all future updates. And then you don't need to deal with any recurring payments. Usually when we sell for organizations, we sell it in a bundle. And the bundle includes 3 components. One is a device, usually it's a tablet. The second is the unlimited license that I just spoke about. And the third is the mount. The mount is an important component here. In order for the application to work well, you want the device to be approximately parallel to your head. You don't have to use a mount. You can, take the tablet and put it on, lean it over a laptop or something like that, and you can improvise. But ideally, you would use a mount. We offer a mount that we don't make it, and we don't make any money on it. It's just something that we offer to our users. You can see it on our website. It's called the bamboo mount. It comes with, I can show you some of the pieces here. It comes with those bars, and it comes with holders for the tablet or the smartphone, and you can connect it to either a wheelchair with this little clamp here, or you can connect it to a table or flat surface. You're getting those two bars and the little links that you can connect. Ideally, you would like to have the device in front of your head, about 10 inches. Once you open the camera and you see yourself on the device, you want to see that your face is in the center of the screen. You can have it a little bit below, but if you're going to have it much lower than your head or on the sides, the use is not going to be as smooth, and it's also not going to be not going to be as comfortable because you're going to need to look all the way down. So ideally, you would like to use a mount. The mount that we sell on our website is this system of 2 bars and 2 connectors and the holder for a smartphone or a tablet. We sell it for $250. You have way more expensive options out there. You have cheaper options out there. But personally, I highly recommend using a mount, connecting it to a table and having it mounted in front of you for ideal use. Can that unlimited subscription be transferred to new devices? Yes, you can transfer your subscription to new devices. That's not a problem. So that's about the bundle. So the bundle, if you buy a bundle from us, you're going to get a box to your house or to your hospital or to your organization. In the box, you're going to have a tablet or a smartphone, and you're going to have a license code. You're going to download the app, you're going to put in the code, and it's going to open the app for unlimited use. You're going to get the mount in a different box, and you have everything you need. Those bundles usually goes around $1,600. It depends which device you chose, but for that $1,600 or $1,700 or $1,500, you're going to get, again, the device, the license, and the mount. Any plans for iOS availability in the future? So that's a question that comes all the time for obvious reasons. Unfortunately, it's not in our hands. The iOS, the operating system for Apple products, is a closed source operating system, and that's the main problem. They don't allow access to their operating system. They don't allow us to have a cursor on their screen. There's a lot of limitations because that's just the policy of the company. This is how they work. So unfortunately, we couldn't reach, they didn't give us the access that we need. We're still working on it, but since the ball is not in our hands, I can't promise anything. What we are doing, and I mentioned it in a couple of seconds ago, is that we are planning to go into Windows. In the end of the month, in a conference that we're going to have, we're going to present our first Windows version. It's going to be a very basic Windows version that will be specifically for use with Aac App. So you're going to have a cursor on the screen following your head, just like you saw, but the only thing you'll be able to do is to tap around. And we started specifically for education system and for people that are using Aac App. So any person that is using Aac apps that are Windows-based will be able to download the Open Sesame software or app to their Windows computer, laptop, Surface Pro tablet, desktop computer, and then just use the front-facing camera or the webcam to control an Aac app. Later on, we're going to add more layers to that. So eventually, I hope in a few months, you'll be able to use Open Sesame on your smartphone or tablet, your Android smartphone or tablet, and your Windows computer. Another question here, when the system, phone, or tablet software goes out of date, will I still be able to use Sesame? Yes, it's just going to get better when you upgrade to new Android systems. And we started with Android 7. Since then, we are already in Android 9. So it's not going to affect the use. It's just going to open more options for us. And we are always working behind the scenes to do the adjustments. So if there was any change in the operating system, we will make sure that the software will work well with any new updates. Approximate cost the same for Win Access. Not sure I understand this question. We do have, and that's something that might be relevant for some of you, we do have subsidy plans in 10 or 11 states around the US. You can see the list if you go to the purchase tab on our website, and you're going to scroll all the way down. You're going to have a little bar with a list of states that in those states you can get the bundle that I talked about subsidized by the state. It's in Maryland, it's in Minnesota, it's in Oregon, it's in Texas, it's in Wisconsin. So you can check out this list. We are also a vendor of the VA. So if you are a veteran, you can get the technology subsidized by your VA hospital. Oh, they're asking about the new product that will be released. Will the cost of the Windows version be the same as the Android cost? That's a good question. We still haven't decided on the price exactly. The product is just going to be launched at the end of the month, and we're going to send all the information out, but I still can't say exactly how much it's going to cost. It's probably, we still need to decide if it's going to be a monthly subscription or a one-time payment. We're probably going to have both options. So the pricing model might be a little bit different for the Windows product. So again, for the purchase option, either just do a monthly subscription of $20 a month, buy a license for a year or for 2 years, or buy a bundle. It's up to you. You can go on Amazon or Best Buy and just get a device, or you already have a device and you just download the app. If you don't have a device, if you're not sure what device to get, you can contact us. We can give you recommendation, and you can buy it from us and just get to your house a box with the device and with the mount and with the license. Checking for any more questions before I'm going to wrap it up. You can follow us on social media, and you can gonna see some updates that we're sending. And once we're releasing the Windows, we're gonna send through social media all the information about the price and the details. And obviously every new update, you can follow us on Facebook or on Instagram. You can go on our website. There is a support tab there, and you can see tutorial videos there of us doing basically everything that I showed you. You can refresh your memory there, and there is Q&A. There is also a chat on our website that you guys have probably used, and you can ask us questions there. You can decide, you can ask for us to have kind of like a support session to help you with the initial setup. We can do it via a conference call or a Skype, or just like we're doing right now via Zoom, to help you with the initial setup. So really feel free to contact us if you have any questions, whether it's about devices, whether it's about the Open Sesame app itself. We're always happy to hear feedback. Most of the features that you saw here, from the switch to the AAC to the basic to the advanced to the sensitivity, it all came from users and professionals. So we're always happy to hear ideas and suggestions and requests. It's a software, it's an app, it's very easy to change and to update, it's very flexible. If we hear a good feedback or a good idea, that can be implemented into the application within a couple of weeks. So you can always feel free to reach out and ask questions and send us ideas. And that's it for now. I don't see, yeah, will this recording be available for us to review? So you can, we were very impressed when you were at the Maryland. Oh, great. You guys meet me at the Maryland conference. You can just send us an email. You can send me an email. My email is shai, S-H-A-I, at sesame-enable.com. Or you can just send an email to our general mailbox. It's on our website. It's help@sesame-enable.com, and you can ask us to send you the webinar that we just did. So we'll be happy to do it. If you guys are working for an organization or you have friends or colleagues that you think might be interested, I'll be happy to share the recorded webinar with you guys. Again, my email is shai, S-H-A-I, @sesame-enable.com. So feel free to reach out if you have any question or to request the recorded webinar. No more questions, so that's it for now. Thank you guys for joining us for this webinar. We're doing these webinars every month. So again, if you have friends or colleagues or relatives that you think might be interested, you can tell them to join us for the next session. Helen Hayes Hospital, I see someone mentioned here. Helen Hayes actually have this technology. You can check it out over there. I know that the person that we're in touch there actually left, but you still have the technology there. The hospital bought a bundle. So yeah, have a good evening, and feel free to reach out and ask us questions, and keep an open dialogue. Have a great evening and good night.